Right, a very good evening and welcome aboard to this live preview of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Our first, of course, many more to come. And I'm Kesho host, joined by Albert Ofong and another Petronas fanatic here in, of course, to digest a lot regarding this upcoming race, which is in about 30 minutes from now. We're at Icon Bar and Lounge, definitely your place to be in terms of having fun parties and hangouts today. So, of course, we'll talk about much more of the preview, what happened before the race, and the practice, the qualification, and the anticipations ahead of the main race. Let me request these guys to hello to you, and we pick it up from there. Albi, how are you? Have you been? And welcome to this segment.
Well, I'm very happy, and it is great that we have this opportunity to talk the pre-race. It's nice to have our partner Icon be with us. This is where you want to watch Formula One. We have sound, we have everything. The race coming up is an interesting one. After a long time, Mercedes seem to have got some bit of luck. I don't know what my colleague is saying there, but we basically look at it as an opportunity for them to show us in Britain with Lewis Hamilton that they can do something. However, whether it will end in the same way is another thing to wait for. But otherwise, let's look forward to the race. I wish them the best of luck, though. Let's see how it goes.
Which team do you support?
For me, I am in the Ferrari team. We are waiting for the man to come next year, and we do very many things together.
Word on the street has been that you guys of Ferrari are now supporting McLaren because of their latest improvements in performance. Is this right?
I know for us as Ferrari, we always remain loyal to our side. We are just trying to wait for the talent that they have not taken good use of and bring it over here so we can allow the man go further with his quest of winning another number of titles.
All right, good evening and welcome. Requesting you to say hello to our viewers and your anticipations ahead of the main race.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm called Andrew Kagwa, and as mentioned, Petrona, constructor Mercedes, driver, you know the secret, Hamilton.
Open secret.
That puts me in a juxtaposed position because I know next season a few changes are coming. He has kept stressing that they're waiting. I thank our sponsors, Icon, Heineken, and the management of F1 Uganda. A very good job we are having here. The first pre-race interview, and it's great. I'm highly expectant today, given the way it went in the qualies. The only unfortunate bit if someone comes from P4 and ends up taking the day. But I'm optimistic that the Mercedes guys will do a good job.
Mercedes is home, of course, their home race. Hamilton is at home, Russell as well. Albi, what kind of approach should Mercedes deploy in this race? Because they have it's Russell, then there's Lando, then Hamilton, then Max. We just talked about Max being in fourth. What kind of should they go the defensive kind of strategies? Hamilton defends Max from overtaking, or because again, if he does so, then there's Lando who will be just on the tail of Russell.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, first of all, the frame of mind and the situation that we have here, we have an opportunity for two British guys to win event at home. Lewis, of course, Sir Lewis, to do something in front of his home crowd, in front of his home. So I definitely believe that it's going to be an all-out fight from both teams, from both drivers. Max being behind Lewis means that Lewis can't hang around. Because once Max goes through, then there's no defending Russell. So the best thing would be for Lewis to go in front of Lando and then be able to defend Russell from there. But if he decides to keep Max behind, which we know definitely, as far as things have been going this year, seems to be a big task. So the best thing for Mercedes would be both cars to get up in front and then they start working it out from there.
And then what kind of strategy should Mercedes deploy? Because you have Russell, you have Lando, you have Hamilton, then you have Max. So you have McLaren in there and you have Red Bull in there. How are you approaching this race?
I honestly think it will depend on the team instructions. They need to focus on having one of their guys leading the race. But the way it is to tonight is for Lewis to protect his colleague, because it will be easier for him to protect than for the other one to protect him. So of course the big cut is Verstappen. We don't want to be near P2. So it will be on the tires, the instructions, the pitting, and everything that comes with that. We need to be very strategic in this one. Remember, it is a 6 or so kilometer race or circuit where it's not going to be easy to get through without having a good strategy on the tires. So it's going to be down to the Mercedes instructions and the strategy to ensure that the voucher does not take the day.
And that is Max Verstappen. Let's talk about McLaren. Lando, very good, much improved Lando this season, as well as Oscar Piastri, by the way. Last weekend in the Austrian Grand Prix, it was Russell. Someone was telling me he picked a land title in his names after what happened between Lando and Max. But then in terms of Lando, of course, you support Ferrari. But let's talk about McLaren. How can they approach this race? Because they're just second behind Russell, that is Lando, and he's having a very good season.
Basically, on the grid right now, we feel the McLaren is the faster car. The upgrades they've brought into this race means they are looking for a fight. And of course, Lando is right now in his prime. So I believe for Lando, it's an all-out trying to get in front of the pitch, straight away in front of the grid from the start. And I definitely believe that it's going to be a very huge fight from Lando. And whether the rest of the Mercedes can keep him behind is something which is yet to be seen. But I definitely believe Lando right now is young. Everything is going his way so far. So the opportunity is to go. Yeah. For us, Ferrari, we are going to sit back, watch what is happening, and anything that falls by the wayside, we pick up whatever we can get.
Guys are scared of McLaren and Lando?
Yeah, certainly. Lando is going to be an intervening variable in this race because his positioning right now makes him a threat to the leadership of the race, but also in terms of assisting Verstappen to get ahead of the Mercedes cars. So he's really going to be an intervening variable. He's a very big thing. If it was football, I would say the Aston Villa, who comes in to sabotage Arsenal, that kind of thing. Yes.
When they need the points, the more. Okay, that we have talked about Mercedes, we have talked about McLaren. Let's talk about Red Bull. Max is all out there alone, in my view, to fight because Perez has some, despite the fact he signed a new contract, by the way, for next season is there, but he's not really giving him that kind of defense that he really should need because he's out there against guys like Russell, against Lando. But Max is winning all sorts of kinds of records, breaking all sorts of records, chasing yet another title. He's won it before and numerous occasions. But how best can he approach this race? He's fourth. He's ahead of him is Hamilton, then Lando, then Russell. Can he get? Should he do it in the first corner? Because last time we saw it in Austrian Grand Prix, he tried. There was an error by the team, by the way, in that the last pit stop. I think it was on lap 53, where there was a delay in changing the rear left tire. He spent around 6 seconds. So by the time he got out of the pit lane, as well as Lando also came in there, got out of the pit lane almost at the same time with Max, then he was always in DRS range. No wonder they ended up clashing and getting out. So how can Christian Horner and the Red Bull approach this race?
Well, in as far as I would take the last words that Max gave in regards to that clash they had. His story was, I don't come here to sit around, I come here to win. So definitely, the team might have its own ideas, but this is a world champion, repeated, and he remembers what happened just a few days ago. So definitely Max is going to come out all guns blazing. And for him, his quickest thing is to get past who? Is to get past Lewis immediately and start working with Lando. Because his biggest challenge as of now is Lando. I don't think he thinks the Mercedes have the potential to keep him away. So all he's going to do is say, let me get past Hamilton quickly, and then I start dealing with my real competition. And in the process, Russell will also go, and then we'll get back what we have there time. However, if you remember in a few seasons back, I don't remember which season it was, there was the time when we had the Lewis-Verstappen clash, and at the end of the day, both of them were thrown out of the race because of that. So that could happen in turn one, right? Because I don't think Lewis at home, in his own turf, where he's a star, is just going to let that guy go past. So I think the first turn is going to be quite critical. And until they pass Lewis, my eye is going to be on that rivalry as it goes along. But meanwhile, the more he delays there, the more Lando disappears. So it's going to be pretty interesting. I think for the whole year, this should be one of our most exciting races. I mean, like at least when we go to start, right? We have the best 4 teams up front there. I mean, the best 4 drivers up front there. So we let's wait and see what goes up.
How can, because Hamilton is just ahead of Max, then Russell is 3 places ahead of Max. How can Hamilton do it in the as we go along this? Because the more he delays this guy from getting, I think he might even play the defensive part of it. How can he do it to hold off Max?
The way I see Hamilton this season is he's in there to be on the podium every race because he knows that the last turn he has with Mercedes. Now he has a problem that Verstappen, there's no love lost. He's there to win, not even P2. His is P1. In fact, to add to what he said about his comments after the last race, he said that if he is not there to win, he'd rather not go for the race. He'd rather stay at home. So he's going to do everything he can do. Of course, he knows that his teammate Perez is not in the race anymore. So Hamilton has to be careful with Verstappen because for him, he comes to win and nothing else. If it means getting out of the race without completing, it's going to happen. But as long as he completes, he has to be the one they announce as P1. So Hamilton has to be very careful with this guy. And I know of late Hamilton sometimes tends not to be very comfortable with the team instructions. So he may want to go out not thinking about what Russell is doing to see that he fights off Verstappen all through and maybe have the chance of winning what we call his last race in the red shirt.
So then of late, there's much talk about Mercedes is not. Most of the teams have completed their lineups for next season, but you guys have not yet. Hamilton leaving for Ferrari. Who is the replacement?
We'll think about that.
Any driver, if you have an open check, any driver will want on the grid.
How they not discuss that? It's so painful for starters. It's very painful for me because we're wondering: are we going to sell the shirts? Are we moving with the driver? Are we staying with the constructor? It's a bit tricky. So I find it very painful. So I never even want to think of who's going to join in, to come in. But I know somehow the team will continue and the driver will continue thriving wherever he's going.
Okay, then time to take predictions because the race is about 18 or so minutes left. Time to take predictions. I'll first give you a chance. You give us your predictions. I'll also give him a chance. Then I'll give you a second thought about your predictions, and then you could have changed. There could be change of mind. Your 1, 2, 3.
Just before we do that, I could clearly say if Mercedes team would follow instructions from me, turn 1 knock Verstappen and he gets out. However, my predictions would be simple. I think I'll give this race to Lando to win. Second, I'll give
for the winner. You can. Any reason why?
Because I think right now he has the best frame of mind, and he has a quick car under him, and he's in grid point. He's in pole 2, and the guy in front of him can't beat him into turn 1. So once he gets out in front there, and while Verstappen is still going through traffic behind, he can be able to put enough distance between him and Verstappen. The also issue is that the pit system and the setup of the team in terms of tire change and what must be crucial for the McLaren team in order to keep him up front. So to me, I'll give it to Lando.
So Lando?
Lando first, Verstappen second, and Russell third.
Predictions?
I'm disappointed with this prediction. But I must painfully say I'll give it to Lando. Honestly.
Painfully.
Because you see, he has the right shape of mind. He has a good car, at least ahead of Mercedes, and he's on home soil, Then P2, I'll give it to Lewis. He never goes wrong home. Of course, he has had mishaps there and there, but he seems to be having a better frame of mind than he was at the beginning of the season. So I really think he's going to bring a very good show. Then, of course, Max comes in and another Mercedes comes in.
Okay. Any change of mind?
No, personally, no change of mind. I stick with that.
Lando?
I like my colleague here for being practical, and that's the best way we watch this game. So we will enjoy the race. We'll be back after. If the prediction has gone the way it is, definitely we shall have a conversation with a few Hennikens to make it go down well. Just for purposes of people, the Formula One Association of Uganda, we are running the race viewing activity, which we do every time there's a race at Icon here at Forest Mall. We have sound, we have good music after, We have, for members of the club, when you come, we have discounts for drinks for you. So it's a very good place to watch the game and have a very exciting feeling. So we encourage you to come next time and be part of this race.
Okay, then for the sponsors?
For our sponsors, of course, we would like to thank Henneken, Icon Bar and Restaurant, Jubilee Assurance, Mountain Dew, who are supporting the club, and FMU, the Federation of Motorsport Clubs of Uganda, where we are members as a Formula 1 association. We thank them very much. We look forward to very more races and a wonderful relationship as we keep growing stronger. The idea is to have a race viewing of this nature in every part of the country. In the future, whenever there's a F1 race, there should be somewhere in the different parts of the country people watching, and we can all conference together and enjoy this sport.
Any change of mind in the predictions? He said he's not changing anything.
No, I wouldn't go in for that. I also just want to extend thanks to the sponsors, Heineken, Icon Lounge, Jubilee, Mountain Dew, FMU. They're doing a good job. But besides that, he's on the other side of the continent, management or the leadership. I'm on the side of the fans, the members. I think you guys are doing a great job. There's a great change we're appreciating. We love the music. We love the sound during the races. We love the vibe. I mean, I was shocked. I was in front there, and I saw a friend. He comes from Geneva. He has been brought here by a female. Yes, she insisted that, there's a place where you have to watch Formula 1. I'm loving this. I'm loving the numbers, the aura, the vibe. Let's keep this up, and let's keep making it valuable to our sponsors by coming in big numbers, by enjoying the race, by staying after the race, listen to what they say, and enjoying the theme music of the night. It is lovely. I thank you.
Okay, apparently the British anthem is being played. God bless our king. But the race is upon us. 78 times the race has been held since 1926. For the record, Lewis Hamilton has the highest number of wins. He has 8 of them. Ferrari have the highest number of constructor wins. They have 18. The total distance of the circuit is 5.891 kilometers. That is 3.66 miles. And then the total distance of the race is 306.198 kilometers, and that is 190.226 miles, and we have 52 laps. That is definitely upon us, ahead of us in this upcoming race. Of course, last season Max Verstappen was on pole, but of course he went ahead to win the race. Second was Lando Norris, and third was Lewis Hamilton. No wonder he says Hamilton doesn't flatter on home soil. Definitely get back after the race. It's Lando, it's Lando as well. For me, Oscar Piastri.